Hello everyone, I'm Puja Dutta. I'm a clinical psychologist and today I am here to address some of the frequently asked questions that are of concern to parents at times. The first frequently asked question is, what are the early signs of autism in babies and toddlers? Let me tell you, the signs and symptoms in autism, it can appear as early as, in the early formative months of the child, that is 13 or 14 months. Within 2 years, the symptoms are quite apparent. Moving into the symptoms, a child, who is less than 2 years old with symptoms of autism may have very limited eye contact. The child may hardly babble by 12 months of age. Usually we know babbling, it starts by 6 months of age. There is lack of social smile. So even if the social smile is there, so it is quite impaired. There is also problems in reciprocal communication. Like when some simple thing is asked, the child has difficulty in reciprocating. The child tends to stay in her or his own world, not interacting with anyone. In fact, children who can speak to an extent, the speech or the language that is not clearly framed, and they have a tendency not to speak. Even with same age children by 2 years of age, they develop certain curiosity. Children with autism do not feel curious seeing children of their age. They have very restricted and limited play, and the play is also quite stereotypical, such as lining toys, using toys in some unusual manner. For example, a child who is within 2 years of age, for example, may play with a car in age-appropriate manner. But a child with autism may take the car, may turn it upside down, may turn on the wheels of the car. These are some of the concerns or some of the symptoms that are apparent. In addition to this, at times by 2 years of age, children point to objects, right? Like this is which is the car, this, which is the toy, this. They cannot, or rather they do not, like pointing at objects. Not only this, meaningful words, little bit of vocabulary development. It happens around, by 16 months of age. There also, it is delayed. Moreover, there are limited gestures. So if I bid, tata to someone, if I wave at someone, children, they even reciprocate by waving. These are some of the common signs and symptoms that are evident as early as by 2 years of age. These are some of the warning signs, which doesn't mean that we should feel panicky that, okay, my son, is having autism. Rather, this is a time where we should not procrastinate and we should visit a pediatrician or an expert for further, intervention or clarification. The next question is related to the previous one, that is, what signs of autism appear in children as they grow older. So when the child is going to school now, so it is, by 3.5 years, 4 years, the symptoms, it becomes quite clearer now because the environment is changed. Earlier, it was only restricted to home. Now the child is staying not only at home, but is also going to school, mixing with other people, or, getting to know many unknown faces. So most common symptoms, that is apparent during this phase is difficulty playing with children, preferring to stay alone in the classroom. The teacher even says the child does not interact with anyone. The child does not make eye contact with anyone. There is trouble making friends. So at this age, children, they move forward for, friendship. They start playing some, make-believe play, certain imaginary plays. They start interacting with each other. But these children, with clear evident symptoms of autism, you will find them at one corner of the classroom. The teacher is bringing them back. Again, the child is isolating herself or himself. In addition to this, now by this time, speech is more or less developed. In, verbal individuals, they have this unusual speech, echolalia, what we say, repeating something in a parrot-like fashion, imitating others beyond the point of relevance. So whatever we say, they have a tendency to repeat it, which at times it seems inappropriate to us. They also do not participate in make-believe play, like kitchen set, toy set, this set, that set. That is not there. Even in classroom, there is difficulty in coping up with the classroom activities, which is, quite obvious if the child is not able to rather interact with others, the child is not able to understand the cues, that is also going to impact the other activities. At times in some children, there is hyper focus, that is getting fixated into one thing, so that the child is not able to shift or deviate the attention into other activities. There is a strong need for routines, they are very resistant to change, they want some predictability, and they are very resistant to uncertainties. You will also get to see sensory sensitivities, which is not that evident, in the first 2 years of life. So holding ears when there is, some noise, even the noise, it is not bothering us. Certain kinds of sensory sensitivities to touch, sensory sensitivities to pain, and last but not the least, meltdowns are apparent. The environment becomes at times so overwhelming that the individual, the child, is not able to regulate the emotions and shows certain meltdowns. Next is, what are the common signs of autism in teenager? Now, this is also very relevant and this is also very interesting. Now, if you see, there is a trajectory, from early childhood to childhood, now teenage period. We know teenage period, that is actually a storm and stress for all children, for all teenagers, right? Individuals who are in the spectrum are not an exception to it, but it is sometimes, overwhelming. Sometimes it is quite taxing for them because of the associated condition. Now, the child is moving, further to the teenage period, where at this stage, the individual is also having sexual development, which at times is not very pleasant to the individual, leading to a lot of overwhelm and distress and lot of inappropriate behaviors as well. During this phase, we will see individuals, they have a tendency, to have friendships. Some individuals with high functioning autism, they desire friends, but they are not able to make friends, or they are not able to sustain friends, which leads to lot of emotional distress. Emotional problems, mental health conditions are very apparent. They are expected to do certain things which they are not able to do. They're expected to be a part of the friend circle. The friends are not accepting them. And it is also leading to a lot of bullies in the classroom, which also impacts their mental health. In addition to this, because this is also a period when the body is growing, when they are trying to have an identity of their own, which they find it difficult to get, lot of tantrums, or rather, in addition to tantrums, lot of meltdowns even happen, leading to lot of behavioral problems, lot of even self-injurious problems. So this period, it is very sensitive, marked by lot of emotional distress, even at times depression and anxiety, which individuals are not able to express. In addition to this, there are also academic burdens. The individual is not at times able to cope. But saying that, if structure, proper routine, proper support is provided to them, they will surely progress at their own pace. Moving to the final stage, symptoms of autism in adults. Now, by this time, you can very well understand, audience, that if the symptoms, they are very prominent, we do not wait for a diagnosis in the adulthood. The symptoms have already appeared in the formative years of childhood, and with proper diagnosis, conditions become more better and stable when the individual reaches, into adulthood. So what are the signs and symptoms for you to understand? Definitely, again, problem in reciprocal communication. The individual may, individuals who are having high functioning autism, they may reach colleges and universities, the same problem persists. A desire to be in the group, but at times not being able to. Unusual interest in certain activities beyond the point of relevance, that also hampers their social interaction and communication. So at times they are talking about certain things which others are not able to relate. Others are in the group are talking about certain things which these people are not able to relate. Along with that, some individuals, they develop certain interest in certain things, be it artwork, be it some kind of music, be it some kind of other areas or avenues. Things are quite sorted for them. They also long for some friendships, with the opposite sex, marriage and all, but because of their underlying conditions, these things are also impacted. They also tend to have hyperfocus. Hyperfocus meaning, again, fixated in something and they are not able to get out of it. By this time, definitely with proper intervention, sensory sensitivities, they are reduced. The individual is now able to cope with the environment. A longing for predictability at workplace, if there is lot of uncertainties, if there is lot of change or transition, chaos, individuals, they are not able to take. So with this, today I finish the journey of an individual with autism and definitely the associated signs and symptoms. I hope this is quite relevant and meaningful to you. If you feel that these videos matter, if you feel that these videos are useful and relevant, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel of India Autism Center. Thank you so much.